Rise and shine on Australia's Vision Christian Radio.
Intro, it's a podcast intro on a Tuesday. I don't know, on a Wednesday. Podcast intro on Wednesday.
Oh, no.
Oh, no, it's like that. Okay, tomorrow is a day off, ANZAC Day. Fel DJ here for you on your Wednesday. Great show today, if I do say so myself. Lovely hearing from people all over Australia about ANZAC Day.
Very special.
And having a decent, my first time having a little conversation with the incredible Col Stringer.
Okay, so what did you think? Cole is awesome.
Everybody, it was one of those ones where yesterday, again, pulling back the curtain behind the scenes, I race around yesterday after I finished everything, and we're looking at the planner for tomorrow, and we wanted to get a guest in, someone who could say something about ANZAC Day, but we sort of had an empty slot. So I ran around and I grabbed hold of Phil Edwards, Robbo, and a few others and said, look, give me someone. I need an Australian cobber, a bit of a digger, someone who's going to be able to talk to ANZAC and, talk to the Christian spirit behind it. And everybody said exactly the same thing. You need to talk to Col.
And
you need
it
to talk to
is.
Col.
That's his main, when I've heard him preaching for probably 30 years now.
Yeah.
And that's one of the hot topics. Like if you said Col, in my head, that's exactly what you think
Well,
of.
the funny thing is that then when I say you do Col Stringer, you're like, oh, old family friend. He's my dad's best mate.
Not best mate.
Yeah.
But no, he's been preaching at my dad's church since I was little.
Wow.
And always loved, because he's we come from a New Zealand background.
Yes.
He's the most Aussie preacher
Yes.
I know. Very
Yes.
down to earth, very Aussie. Imagine a pastor from Darwin originally.
Yeah.
Kind of that Crocodile Dundee
Love
vibe.
it. This is what we want.
Awesome man of God.
I think I'm gonna make a prediction here. Not the last time we hear from him.
No.
Because I really, really enjoyed our time together. So keep an eye out for that. colstringer.com, I'll say it again, is his website. I just discovered there's a bunch of his books in the shop here. So if you want to get the book,
Yeah, that sounded professional when you said, "Oh, where can we get your book?"
Yeah, yeah.
Like you've got them in the room
no
next
idea
door.
exactly in the storeroom next door to the studios here. They're right here. And let me just say, a bit of a plug. Cheaper. You're going to find
More
them
than
cheaper.
ever before.
Yeah, than ever before,
And ever will be.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe if you like Col's extended interview here, we had to chop out one of his stories, so we're going to put it all here in the podcast for you. If you like what you hear, make sure you get across and go over to the Vision store, look up Col Stringer, grab some books. It's going to be great. Enjoy the show. Have a wonderful ANZAC Day. We'll see you Friday.
It's the best way to start your day. Rise and shine with Fel and DJ on Vision.
Vision has a place for everyone. It's always expanding and
Yes.
taking that good news of Christ across the whole country. I can see here Narendra saying, I think I'm saying that right now,
do, yeah,
800 and Narendra. I love saying it now. I just want to say it. 820th station.
Wow.
So exciting to see that ever expanding footprint. So more and more people are hearing the good news.
Yeah.
But there are some missing links. There's actually more to be done.
Yeah, this is an important step. So the team, the broadcast op team, Jean, who you've got to know on the show, she's popped in a few times. They actually have got licenses for some communities to be able to start broadcasting Vision, but the missing link is a place to actually put the transmitter.
Mm-hmm. And we thought it was a big thing. We were imagining it being this huge transmitter on top of your roof. But Jean was telling us it's actually quite small.
Yeah.
It's really the size of your normal satellite dish that you might have on
Exactly.
your home already. A couple of DVD boxes and Bob's your uncle.
Yeah,
Like literally, I did have an Uncle Bob.
Well, there you go. And Uncle Bob would want you to be involved in this. We've got some of the places, if you're in New South Wales, listening in New South Wales, a couple of places that this might spark something there. In Tullamore, we have a license. We have nowhere to put it up. In Bingara, we have a license. We have nowhere to put it up. You might know people around that region or someone in that area who can actually get involved.
Or if you're living here, this is a cool sounding place, DJ.
Yeah.
Goolagong.
Ooh.
We need one there. That would be fantastic. Mildura.
Yes.
That's one a bit easier to say. Robe or Signet in Tasmania.
Love it.
Lots of opportunities there.
Yeah, so if you want to get involved, please get involved with the broadcast operations team. You can get involved by going to vision.org.au, going to the contact form, shooting off a message and saying, hey, I think I might know someone in those areas. We might have someone who's a willing host to be able to host the equipment for us. If you do, let us know. We'd love to get that missing link a little less missing.
Rise and shine with Fel and DJ on Vision.
You're on Rise and Shine with Fel and DJ. And DJ, I've done something very special.
Oh, what have you done?
Well, I finally posted onto the Facebook special group for Rise and Shine. I've popped up there some delicious, in our family we thought delicious looking.
Look at you go. I'm refreshing our Facebook group. I'm refreshing it here. 201 members. Oh, look, they don't.
Yeah. What do you think?
Well,
No, look, don't be.
No. I'm going to say, A, they look very yummy. B, they look a little bit cakey to me. They look a bit soft.
They were a bit soft. They were,
okay.
I reckon
It's
too
not
much
just
butter.
okay.
No,
Yep.
it's not just you. I would agree. They all got eaten.
Yes.
So, look, there was no complaints. But personally, I felt there was something amiss.
Okay, I like the styling.
Do you like the styling? Millie helped me with that.
With the second shot
Yes.
on the white there. Is that a pizza tray that the biscuits are on?
That's what I cook my biscuits on.
It's working good.
It is a pizza
If you put
tray.
a few more biscuits in, I think you'd have a ANZAC
You could totally
biscuit
have a pizza.
base.
Because they do just come together, actually. You could. How delicious would that be? In fact, there's a term for that.
Right.
What is it? Like a big pizza cookie. It was a pookie or something.
You've almost got complete of the biggest ANZAC biscuit I've seen ever in that one thing. Well, okay. That's great. You've got if you're one of the privileged 201 members, I can tell you right now, there's 4 requests today to join. I'm going to get through them.
Well, you want to see these? Can I just say for everyone out there?
Yes.
DJ is a bit of a tough nut when it comes to Facebook. I had no idea.
Ruling with an iron rod.
You are. So we've got the Facebook page, which is open to all.
Yes.
Come one, come all.
Please.
And join Rise and Shine.
Yep.
You can go through the Vision Christian Media Facebook page. You find links, or you could just look for it in Facebook.
Yeah, just do a search Rise and Shine Vision. That's the the tag there. Rise and Shine Vision. If you do a search, you'll find us, like us, follow us.
And DJ
fantastic.
can't kick you out of that.
No. 450 people following along there. It's a lot of fun. Very excited. And thank you to everybody who's got in touch with me. I have put out over there my idea, talking about stuff that's coming up. In a little while, we're going to be playing Music Machine.
Yes.
And
I left the studio for a minute yesterday, and DJ's palming off his work to everyone in the Facebook group.
Hey, no. It's very much, if you know the concept of Music Machine, I know there's people who love Music Machine and really,
and some who find it
some are challenged, but people are loving the idea of I've put it out there. Why don't you come up with a Music Machine?
Oh, I'm sure.
I'll put it all together. I'll put the audio together, but why don't you work out a theme and the songs and stuff like that? We've got a few people who have been in touch going, well, this is good. So we might have some special guests. Music Machine compilers.
I do think that's pretty cool, actually.
It is pretty cool.
So if you don't know what we're talking about, jump over to the Vision Facebook page and you can see all the links. You've got the Rise and Shine community, just a normal Facebook page, which you can come onto, be the first to know what's happening. But then also you can go behind the scenes into a Facebook group where DJ rules with an iron fist, but you answer some questions, you come on in, and then you can share photos and you can learn about each other.
I'm a very generous and benevolent, dictator in the group there. That's what I like to say. But please get involved. We love this community and we love it. We love it building. My greatest thing is I'm watching people get to know each other in the group and commenting and encouraging one another on their posts. And we're not involved at all. People are just taking it on, and I love that.
And seeing photos from across Australia.
Yes,
so seeing where people are listening to the show or what they're up to with their dogs. I can see Belinda here with her little puppy.
Yeah. Very
gorgeous.
Yeah, we might. I think there might be a couple of dog posts coming up.
I might do a couple of those now that I've started.
Exactly. Well, get over there, get involved in the Facebook page, the Facebook group. We'd love to have you involved there. But we would love to get your stories, whether that's on Facebook, a phone call, or even on our text line, about ANZAC Day. What memories and what thoughts come up with ANZAC? Have you had a family member involved? Have you been involved in, the Army, the Air Force, the Navy, that type of stuff, here in Australia or even abroad? We'd love to hear your stories and what ANZAC conjures up for you, especially in thinking about it. I had a lovely message from a couple of people yesterday. I mentioned in passing yesterday one thing that I believe about Anzac Day is because it's all about sacrifice. I think God made something in our hearts to respond to that because of what Jesus has done for us. Yeah. And I had a few people contact me very nicely, and that was just an off the top of my head, comment as we were flying through the show. And and Kiwi Steve was one of them. He said, "I have never thought of Anzac Day like that and putting it on my Christian faith." He said, I'm going to be spending the rest of the day just thinking about that beautiful. And realizing, letting Anzac Day help me think about what Christ has done for us. So if you've got any takes like that, if you've got any thoughts around that, please let us know. You can send us a text. I think it's time to hear our text line.
Oh, yes.
Thanks to Lachlan. Here it is.
0447 488 316. That's the number that you text for the Rise and Shine Breakfast Team. 0447 488 316. Just give them a text, they can't reply yet, but give them a text on 0447 488 316.
Now,
Thank you,
Lockie. Fantastic job. I am trying to get him in the studio to do it because we do need a slightly updated one because we have the technology.
The technology has grown.
We
even
can respond.
Last week.
Yes, we can respond. It's amazing. We can respond to these text messages now. So we need that updated one. We'll get that happening.
Rise and Shine with Fel and DJ on Vision Christian Radio.
And coming up soon, we're going to be switching over and talking all about Anzac Day.
Yeah.
It's been great to read over on Facebook what everyone's up to tomorrow.
I love it.
And how they're commemorating the very special day.
Yeah. If you've got a memory around Anzac Day or you want us, let us know what you're doing. And you know what? I'm going to throw you under the bus here, Fel.
Yes.
Having a look at Fel's Anzac biscuits that she made yesterday. Maybe you've got a really good Anzac Day Anzac biscuit recipe.
Well, I haven't seen your contribution actually. So
I need some
before
help.
you throw stones,
Exactly.
I'd like to see your go. But
if you've never fail, always works, easy to do Anzac biscuit recipe, let us know in the comments as well.
And even we had a conversation yesterday about crunchy or whether they should be soft.
Yeah.
There was a bit of division.
I know.
I didn't realise. I thought everyone liked soft.
Well, I think the perfect one is softer in the middle, but chewy in the middle, crunchy around the edges.
Really? How would you do that? That's very tricky.
I don't know. If you know how to do that, let us know. Hey, Perko is going to be on the way in just a moment. He's here with us on a Wednesday in the building. Perko, you know him as Perko. Jason Perkins is with us. And continuing on a series, the last few times we've had you in, you've been talking about limits. And you know what? It's scary that I've now got your voice, your head floating around in my subconscious here. Because I'm sitting there watching The Chosen. As I like to do, and rewatch the episodes of The Chosen and, get into the seasons there. And I noticed something the other day, and it always takes me surprised when I'm watching The Chosen. I'm getting sucked into the drama, I'm getting sucked into the story, and then all of a sudden they do this quite often on a few different episodes. Jesus doesn't appear till the end of the episode.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hang on, I've been watching this show about Jesus and he's not there, he's away. And the disciples will often say, oh, he's away resting, he's away doing something. And I'm like, oh, this is what Jason's been talking about, limits. Jesus is away doing his thing. He knows when he's meant to be doing his thing. And I'm now following the story of the disciples. So you've gotten to my head even when I'm watching The Chosen.
Sorry about that, DJ. I apologise.
Sorry, not sorry.
But it is fascinating to me as you read through the Gospels, which I just want to encourage people. By the way, if you call yourself a follower of Jesus, I would spend an inordinate amount of time in the Gospels, because that's where we really discover the life that Jesus lived here on earth. And so as you read through the Gospels, you see this rhythm of Jesus doing massive amounts of ministry, but then stealing away from the crowds, what a lot of people would refer to as a quiet place or a deserted place. And what comes to my mind is in Mark chapter 1, actually, after he's done this massive amount of ministry, healing a bunch of people and so on, it says, but very early in the morning, while it was still dark. And I love the detail that Mark gives us in that little phrase, very early in the morning, while it was still dark. And Jesus was essentially saying, before the ministry gets crazy for the day, I'm going to go out and do what I need to do so that I can give what I possess. I'm not giving out of an empty well. I'm aware of my limits, and I can give what people need.
Wow, because if you were Jesus, which I'm thankful we are not,
no,
but he knew that he only had a short time.
Yeah.
And so you'd think in ministry, if someone said you've got 3 years to achieve everything you've got to achieve, you would just go hammer and tong.
Yeah.
You wouldn't take a break. But we see that so much in the life of Jesus. It's different to how we would intuitively work.
Yeah, and I think he was so about his Father's mission. You hear that over and over again in the Gospels, that getting away to spend time with the Father was almost like that daily check-in that you would have with your manager in the office to go, remind me of the mission again. What's the best way for us to accomplish it? I see him stealing those moments away with the Father just to stay on mission and to make sure I'm on the same page as you are, what you've called me to accomplish. Because he did. He had a short period of time to do it in.
And that recharging.
Yeah. Well, okay, that's the life of Jesus. I want to take a short moment here, and when we come back, I want to see how that applies to our life today. That's fine for Jesus 2,000 years ago. But Jason, I live in 2024 and I've got a long list of things to get done here, buddy boy.
Yeah.
So I want to get into the practical application next here. Perko is in the building with us. He's in the studio as he is every couple of weeks. And Perko, we love it when you're here. You're talking about limits. You're talking about the life of Christ. But the question is, how does that apply to us today?
So I would encourage people to think about their limits maybe in a few different arenas of their lives.
Okay.
So first arena that's really helpful for me is your personality. So think of the limits of your personality. Okay. I, for example, I'm an extrovert. Go figure. I'm on a radio program. My wife, not so extroverted. She's more introverted.
Okay.
And so just understanding your limits. So Kristen, my wife, needs a lot of time to recharge on her own, whereas I get a lot of recharging when I'm around people.
Okay. Wow.
So think about your personality and the limits that come with that. The next one I would say is the limits of your time and resources. So that's a big one. You know, for me, we all have 24 hours in a day, but we all have different amounts of resources. So you might be in a scenario right now where you're involved in, say, a startup, a ministry or a business or something, limited resources. You might be in a legacy ministry or organization where you've got more resources at your disposal. So time and resources. The next one is season of life. This is big. So when we had younger children, we're empty nesters as of the beginning of this year in 2024, we have different limits now that we're empty nesters than we did when we had all three of our kids still at home, not in school yet. True. My wife would say season of life, big difference in limits. So that's another one. Yeah, I think you've got some limits too around your family of origin. So thinking about your family of origin, maybe some limits that come out of that. So you might have had a more disruptive family of origin that provide some limits in your life as an adult. Maybe you had a different family of origin, but just think about your family of origin and some of the limits that come out of that. And then the last one that I would say is kind of in the physical sense. We don't think of this very often, but some of us have physical limits that other people don't have. And just being aware of those, I would just spend a little bit of time thinking about your limits, maybe make some lists of those. And then the big question is this question here. What are the limits that God is inviting me to embrace right now?
Right.
And what are the limits that God is inviting me to break through? Because not every limit is something to embrace. There are plenty of examples in Scripture where people broke through limits, some physical limits or resource limits. So really spending some time to prayerfully discern, God, what are you inviting me to embrace in my limits, and what are you inviting me to break through?
I love it. Okay, those 5 points again. Let me see if I was paying attention here.
Oh, here we go. He wrote them down.
The 5 limits, of areas of limits that you're talking about. Limits of personality. What type of personality, or what you can, what you're made for, basically. Resources. Your physical resources, your time resources, your financial resources. What's behind you there? What's the season of life that you're in? With the children, without the children, grandchildren, responsibilities all around that. And number 4, your family of origin. What type of limits are placed on you with the type of upbringing that you had? What type of, upbringing did God allow you to have? Maybe that's one of the ones to break through.
Yeah.
And physical limits as well. What can you actually do? Are you physically fit? How physically fit? What are you physically able to do? If God's called you to something and you're not physically able to get out there, then not be a question of whether God's called you to it. So if we're sitting there thinking of those limits, is that the type of thing where we would sit down with maybe a pastor, a trusted friend, someone who knows the word to work this out? Because I think this would be hard to do by myself.
Yeah. I would highly encourage you, find a safe, trusted friend. And I oftentimes add this to it, that's heading in the same direction that you want to go. Add that to the list, because when you're walking alongside somebody that's heading in the same direction that you want to go, they're going to be able to say the thing to you that you need to hear. Not that you want to hear, but that you need to hear. And I would go through that list with them and say, hey, what do you sense God's inviting me to embrace in this period of my life? Or what's something that God's inviting me to break through as it relates to limits?
I love it. I love it. Well, as always, we love having you in here. It's Jason Perko Perkins. Throw that into Google, see what comes up, and you can follow him along there. We love this idea of limits, and we love these different points there. If you've got any questions or you want to hear this again, please get in contact with us, and we can be a bit of a conduit and put you into touch with Jason as well. Mate, we'll see you soon.
Yeah, Fel DJ, thanks for the invite.
Great conversations, fun, inspiration, and more. Rise and shine with Fel and DJ on Vision.
And now a very special full-length, unedited chat with the Right Reverend Col Stringer. Just for you, our faithful podcast listener. Enjoy.
Thank you. I'm sitting here with a cup of coffee.
Oh, perfect. All right, well, we'll get this pre-recorded and we'll get you back to your cup of coffee as quick as we can. I'll let you do that, because you got some background there.
Yeah.
So I reckon we'll be coming in. Let me just do this. We'll be coming in after Taya. Going to be good if you want to. If you want to do it after
straight?
that.
Yeah, sure. Okay. And that is Taya Gonna Be Good. You're waking up with Rise and Shine with Fel DJ, and on the line, someone who's been very special to our family, to my family for a long time, and I know the Vision family as well. Pastor Col Stringer. How are you, sir?
Good morning. It's a little bit early, but it's great.
Oh, thank you so much for letting us disturb your morning cup of coffee this morning and get on the line with us. Col, the reason why we've got you on, I mentioned to a few people, you know what, we need someone who's passionate about God, passionate about the Word of God, and also passionate about the history of the ANZACs.
Yeah.
And every single person in the building said, you're talking about Col Stringer. So why is ANZAC Day and remembering the ANZACs so important to you?
Well, for a start, the Bible says you give honour where honour's due. And so we're not just glorifying war, but these men and women lay their lives down. I just love the motto of the ANZACs at Ishiraba, where the Prime Minister is at right now, where one of the worst battles ever took place. And the ANZAC spirit, it's summed up in 4 words: courage, mateship, sacrifice, endurance. All of those are biblical principles.
Yes.
All of those Jesus exhibited himself.
Amen.
But I sort of think, in a way, and I love the younger generation, but I think we may be losing some of our values. We really need those things at a time when the nation's really lost its way and certainly lost a lot of its values. So those things, courage and particularly mateship. I mean, Jesus said in Matthew 15:13, "A greater love has no man than this, than he lay down his life for his friends." Not just inconvenience himself, lay their lives down. These young men and women lay their lives on the line. My dad was only a young man when he went to New Guinea, not because he was bloodthirsty, but because he thought his family were being threatened.
Yeah.
And, I think we need to remember that and remember those values. So that's why it's important to me anyway.
Some people might be listening and I was chatting to a few people and I've had this conversation with quite a few people over the decades where they say, listen, I'm a new Australian. I came here from another country, or my parents came here from another country. I feel like I'm intruding in something that I'm not involved in. But every time I've taken them along to an ANZAC Day service, sometimes I've had to trick them into going, they've gone, oh my goodness, I didn't know there was such a strong Christian emphasis and message in everything that has been said and spoken and sung. How have you used that in your ministry over the years, Col?
Oh, definitely. Like the First World War, my grandfather was in the Light Horse, and every trooper was issued with a leather-bound New Testament. Every trooper, whether you're a Christian or not.
Wow.
I still have my grandfather's original, New Testament. And I mean, I believe that our nation was used to largely be responsible for the liberation of the city that Jesus is coming back to. No, that's not London or New York. That's Jerusalem. Hello. Yeah. And it was our boys, along with the Kiwis, that made the charge at Beersheba that opened the gateway to Jerusalem from 400 years of Muslim rule.
Wow.
And we forget things like that. I mean, Beersheba, it's mentioned in the Bible, was captured by the Ottoman Turks on the 31st of October 1517. It was liberated by the Australian Light Horse on the 31st of October 1917. That's 400 years to the day.
Wow.
If you can't see that God in that, you're thick as a brick.
Col, I absolutely love it. Hey, listen, let's take a quick moment here. Let you have a sip of your cup of coffee, and we'll come back on the other side of this on Rise and Shine and get a bit more of a challenge, a bit more of an idea around ANZAC Day as we're getting ourselves ready for the big day tomorrow here on Vision. That was great, mate. That was perfect.
Col.
That was perfect. All right, so we'll
love those stories.
Yeah. We'll be coming back in. But Col, you're doing a great job. Is there anything in particular that you wanted to plug or put out there, or can we point people back to yourself or anything like that?
No, it's fine. I've got a couple of quotes here from different ones, like that were on the Kokoda track, which I think is very, very, important to remember.
Yes.
But He's
got a book called 800 Horsemen.
Where can people buy that book?
They can buy it at Coorong or online.
Okay.
Hey, that was, would you believe, it was number 12 in the ABC's all-time favourite books. That's not
wow.
That's not most sold. That's all-time. I beat Harry Potter.
Really?
All right, let's kick off with this. This is great. It's easy. colstringer.com. How simple is that?
No, he's got it all together. Very easy.
I love it. All right, so this is coming after Cece. Yep.
That's my king, Cece Winans. You're waking up with Rise and Shine with Fel and DJ. And on the line, we have Reverend Col Stringer with us, bringing us some great memories from ANZAC Day. And one of the resources that you have, Col, is your book, The 800 Horsemen, which is such an encouragement in a time that our kids often don't see those connections between what's been happening in the world and the Christian history. And so I love it. Col, can you tell us a bit about your book?
Yes, look, I'm not a historian. I don't claim to be, but I'm passionate about our heritage, our history. My grandfather rode with a light horse. I actually broke horses with Banjo Patterson, would you believe?
Wow.
But, my book, and I believe it was God, I really believe, because I'm not that smart. But we put it out, and the ABC, the Australian Broadcasting Commission, had a competition of 100 all-time favourite Australian books. That's not most sold. And mine come in number 12. I beat Harry Potter. And would you believe the ABC got so angry they called me up and accused me of all sorts of things, of stacking with my church. I said, for a start, I don't have a church. I said, if you want to know the facts, like, hello, don't let facts get in the way of a good story. But ring Coorong and ask how many copies. I sold 25,000 copies.
Wow.
And Coorong backed me up, and so the ABC actually rang back and apologised.
Wow.
But I had a full-page write-up in the Age newspaper. Who is this bloke? Never heard of him before. I loved it, man. Anyway.
It shows you that, Col, it shows you that there is a great appetite. Yeah. There's a hunger for these, true stories like yours, telling the story of the 800 Horsemen and bringing out the Christian, heritage that Australia and New Zealand have. I think there's a hunger for that in our culture.
Well, it's definitely need. I go into schools. We've put almost 4,000 books into the school libraries ourselves. And, only once have I ever been refused, to be able to do it. The lady, the librarian, she reckons she wasn't a communist. I think she was slightly left of Mao Zedong. But anyway, she said, I'm not putting that in. I said, well, hey, lady, I thought this was a free country. All I'm asking you to do is put it in the school library and let the children decide whether they read it or they don't read it.
Yeah.
So she agreed. So what we desperately need, I mean, if we don't want to lose, what heritage we do have,
yes,
then we're going to have to do something about it. That's why I love these young men. They stood up. They spoke up. Can I just read you one quote from a letter? This young man's on Kokoda. He's about to fight. He says here, I prayed a lot. I believe in prayer. My mum and dad are praying for me. That helps a lot. And, of course, I've got my mates. When you've got good mates, you don't leave them. It's called a brotherhood. We got a message from Port Moresby yesterday. We're going to have to stay here and fight to the death. Now, how would you feel at 18 years of age? That's horrifying, I thought. I'll never see my family again. I'll never see Australia again. But I'm prepared to stay here and fight with my mates to the finish because that's my responsibility as the man of the family.
Wow. At such a young age,
18.
Having that...
So we can learn something about courage. We really can understand about courage and mateship and genuine sacrifice. I love this sort of stuff. It's like sick 'em to a dog to me. But I did a book on a chaplain, an Aussie chaplain, fighting Mackenzie. What an awesome man. I mean, there's Stockman from Bundaberg in his 40s, ships out with the young troops, 4 years in frontline combat. But anyway, he's in Gallipoli. The first two waves have gone over and been shot down. Mackenzie's in the frontline trenches with these young men. And the commanding officer walks up and says, Chaplain, you're not even supposed to be here. Get out. Mackenzie, 6'3", stands up and he says, Sir, I'm not a rebellious person, but sometimes you have to answer to a higher authority, and you're not it. See, I'd follow a bloke like that.
Yeah.
I think a lot of Australians would. Hey, Col, we're running out of time. Would you? No, we could talk to you all day, mate. We could talk to you all day. We're going to have to get you back on. Tell us those four virtues that you say embody the ANZACs and something we can remember as we go into it tomorrow.
It's on the monument at Isharaba. Courage, mateship, sacrifice, endurance.
Oh,
beautiful.
So good, so good. I think that's something for us to meditate on today. Yeah. Hey, Col, I'm going to have to get my hands on your books, mate. I'll have to go visit colstringer.com and purchase the books over there. But
you've got them in Vision Library. You've got them at Vision for sale.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll have to raid the sale. Here you go. Come and have them here. Col, bless you heaps, and praying that you have a really blessed ANZAC Day tomorrow. Thank you so much for your time this morning.
Just the right mix of things to inspire and things to make you smile. Rise and shine with Fel DJ on Vision.
And DJ, I'm still so inspired by those words that Col Stringer reminded us of.
So good.
Of those four: courage, mateship, sacrifice, and endurance.
Love it.
That embody the ANZAC spirit.
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
And I love Col pointing out, saying, guys, this is a biblical attitude. This is entirely scriptural. It's not a foreign thing. Christians should be leading the way in this. Yeah. And we love hearing about your ANZAC memories, why ANZAC Day is important to you. And I'm very excited. We're getting some phone calls through 1-800-316-316.
Oh, DJ, we've got Gail from Nambucca Heads. She's normally with a movie review, but Gail, have you got an ANZAC memory for us today?
Both my parents served in the Second World War. My mother was in Darwin when it was bombed. My father served in the Middle East, and then he was taken to New Guinea.
Wow!
So he served with his other two brothers. So when I do ANZAC Day, I make up a batch of ANZAC biscuits.
Yes.
I go down to the dawn service, and a little plastic bag I put on the bag with two biscuits, three biscuits in the bag.
Yeah.
And then I just hand them out. And I just want them to ask, when they eat that biscuit, just think of them and thank them for what.
Oh,
yes.
That's so beautiful.
That's a great idea.
That's beautiful. And that's all happening in Nambucca Heads, where you are?
And then tomorrow morning it'll be down in the car park of the RSL Club,
yes,
where the memorial is, and 5:30 start. And, yes, I just... that's what I do.
Okay.
So my parents, of course, both my parents have passed.
Yes. So there's a lot of memories there for the family, and I love the way that you're keeping that memory alive with what you're doing. Gail, $1 million question for you. Are your ANZAC bickies any good?
Well, they are.
I'm sure they are. I don't think that even has to be asked.
Okay.
I have the Woman's Weekly big book of beautiful biscuits.
Oh.
Okay.
And it's a very old book it was brought out in the 70s.
This is what we're talking.
This is what I need.
It's a very simple recipe.
Yes.
Yep.
Not very simple recipe.
Well,
Okay.
Gail,
What,
mine
you want me to
yesterday.
tell you it?
Yeah, well, I do need to know. Mine were a bit buttery yesterday. They were just too.
Yeah.
I love it soft, but it was too soft. What did I do wrong?
That's probably because depends on you have to. It's so important to measure out exactly the right
don't do
amount,
that.
especially the flour.
Yeah.
So you might not have had enough flour or enough coconut.
Okay.
Or the rolled oats, and so they absorb it, but they are supposed to be quite. They do spread. Mine spread, and they are quite buttery.
Yep.
But if they're too buttery, then you need to measure out everything exactly right.
Okay. Big question, Gail. Are you able to take a photograph or something of the page in that beautiful Women's Weekly ANZAC Day recipe, and can you send it to us?
Yes, I can.
Oh, let's
we
go.
might have
Let's
a bake-off.
Yes.
Maybe we'll try another. I'm going to try again.
Yes. So you want me to send it to where?
All right. I'll hang on the line. I'll grab some detail. I'll grab your details. We'll make sure we'll be able to get it off you. But Gail, thank you so much for that. We're going to get that recipe, and I might even put it up on the Facebook page there so everybody else can see it as well. All right. Stay right there. We'll grab your details in just a second, Gail. But thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gail.
Who
Love
would
that
have
one.
thought? Actually measuring the ingredients. Because I don't tend to do that. Millie and I just throw things in a pot. Maybe that was the problem.
Again, please go over
works most of the time.
If you're not part of the Facebook community, you've got to go over to our Facebook community and have a look at these ANZAC biscuits.
They're not that bad. But I think Gail's will be better.
Yeah. I'm calling it an ANZAC cake, ANZAC pizza base. I don't know what's going over there.
Yeah.
We love to hear your stories and why ANZAC Day is so important to you. Love Gail's memory. There's just something simple she's doing for the community, even if it's just making biscuits and handing them out in the memory of her family there. So we're going to get that recipe up there for you.
ANZAC Day this morning, and one of the things that is pretty precious actually is the ANZAC biscuit. I almost have to
you
catch
caught
myself.
yourself there. Good job.
Dear.
Good job.
Really taking a moment there.
Talking to Gail from Nambucca Heads. I know you did well. You caught yourself. Talking to Gail from Nambucca Heads. She has sent us the recipe.
She was so quick on the text.
She sent us the recipe there, but we're getting some more phone calls through this morning. I can see a call coming through now.
Yeah, look, I've got Paul. Now you've been listening. Where are you calling from?
We're from Coonabarabran, and we're travelling the Nambucca Heads today. We're going to be there tomorrow, so we're going to go along and taste Gail's biscuits.
There we go.
I love it.
We'll have a first-hand account.
We'll have to put you two in contact with each other, and you can give us a on the spot roving reporter, boots on the ground review of the biscuit.
Yes. How cool is that?
That is really cool.
That'd be fantastic. You've got to take some photos and send it to us as well. You're just doing a holiday at the moment or travelling for any particular reason?
No. We have our family get together once a year with our caravans.
Yes.
And we've decided that Nambucca Heads is where we're going this year, so that's where we're off to.
Beautiful. And you do that around ANZAC Day?
Oh, well, just this time of year anyway.
Yes.
Yeah, when it fits in with all our schedules. So we've got family coming from Brisbane and others from the Central Coast, New South Wales.
I love it. Well, we'll make sure we put the two of you in contact with each other, but you're going to have to get into that Nambucca Heads RSL.
That's right, the car park there
tomorrow morning and get in contact.
Our caravan park's not far from there.
I love it.
We can just jump on our bikes and ride down.
I love it. This is great putting people together there. Now, are you a bit of a ANZAC biscuit expert, or?
I love Bickies, yeah. And ANZAC biscuits are good, yes.
Or do you think, Paul, are you like a soft ANZAC person, or do you like them crunchy and crispy?
I like them crunchy and crispy.
Oh, controversial.
Okay. All right. Well, this will be an interesting review. I like it.
Well, then you can dunk them in your tea or your coffee.
True. That's
and the original ones probably were quite crunchy and crispy as they made their way across the sea.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, it makes them dunkable.
I love it. Hey, Paul, thank you so much for your call this morning, mate.
Okay, mate. See you later.
Thanks.
Bye.
I'm loving this. We're going to get an update probably on Friday there. Paul and Gail together there with some biscuits. Let's see what the actual review is. That ANZAC biscuit recipe I'm just about to put on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Rise and Shine Vision. Just do a search for Rise and Shine Vision. You'll see us right there. And the recipe is going to be up there if you need a good one.
Well, I'm immediately come to mind a bit of a competition there, DJ, but I'm going to try and not make it a competition.
You make everything a competition. Listen, I think I'm going to win because, very simply, I will follow the recipe to a T.
I will still just throw things into a bowl and hope that it comes out okay.
I love this. Love hearing from you.
Rise and Shine with Fel and DJ on Vision.
And it's that time of the day where we hand over the mic to you, let you become the DJ for DJ. But today, DJ, you've got something a bit special.
I've grabbed that microphone back. I've grabbed that microphone back and said, no, I'm taking
not
over.
for you today.
We're not going to be here tomorrow for ANZAC Day. And we're back on Friday. And we've just secured, I'm really excited about this, an interview with an Australian Christian band called Whitefield. And if you were anything like me, I try to pride myself on knowing a lot about Australian Christian music. And I have never heard of Whitefield. They're a band from Sydney. They've formed out of the ashes of another band, and we're going to get lead singer, vocalist and songwriter Scott and the guitarist Zach on the line. I've been communicating with Zach. We've booked it all in. We're going to get them on Friday over the Zoom there. So I thought, you know what, in preparation to that, why don't we get some of their music on for a curtain call? They've got a brand new single coming out, but I wanted to play the last single they released last year. It's called Hurricane, and I call this mature pop rock. I love this sound. I absolutely love it. I love the lyrics. So you know what? Turn this up. If you're driving along, wind those windows down, if it's not raining, and enjoy this song. I reckon you're going to be singing along to the chorus by the end of it. This is Sydney band Whitefield with their track Hurricane. It's your curtain call.
Remember in those days, I barely knew your name. We were in ninth grade, we were just kids back then. Wait for tomorrow, don't fear the hurricane.
That's our new friends Whitefield with their song Hurricane. And DJ, we're going to get a chance to chat to them on Friday by the sound.
I can't wait. Is it just me? I love that song. I'm loving the sound that they've got here. Whitefield, a 5-piece from Sydney. We're going to chat to at least a couple of them on Friday. Don't miss out on that. Looking forward to that one. Well, it's time for us to get on out of here, get on our bikes and get ready for ANZAC Day tomorrow. Thank you to everyone who's been in contact with us via text message, phone call, or even on the Facebook page and group and letting us know what you and the family are doing for ANZAC Day. I'm going to be getting the family up very early in the morning tomorrow, making the cruise down to the to one of the beaches along the coast and doing a bit of a extended ANZAC Day dawn service tomorrow.
Beautiful.
I'm looking forward to it. Then it's all the Paynes, extended Payne family, my brother, my sister, their families, my mum, we're all getting together and spending the day together there.
Aww.
And
it's a lot of pain.
It's a lot of pain. It's a very big house of pain there. A very big house of pain there. But thank you to everyone who's been in touch. Really recommend that you head over and download the podcast of the day one, today's one. You definitely want to hear Jason Perko's conversation again.
Always good.
And also, we had such a great time talking to Col Stringer. We've actually got some extended bits.
We got a bit carried away, and so we couldn't fit it all on the show. But there is in the podcast. Once DJ puts it together, he'll nibble on some ANZAC cookies and put it together for us.
Did you bring some in for me?
No, they're all gone.
Oh.
You'll have to make your own.
So even though they look a bit soft and cakey, they were still yummy.
Yes, no problems at all.
All right,
an ANZAC cookie is an ANZAC cookie. A biscuit.
Thank you.
Sorry.
ANZAC
Autopilot.
ANZAC biscuits. Get those recipes into us. We want to hear from you. Listen, have a blessed day today, a wonderful day tomorrow on ANZAC Day, whatever you're doing, and we'll see you bright and early back here on your Friday.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
Thanks for taking time to listen to this audio on demand from Vision Christian Media. To find out more about us, go to vision.org.au.